Howdy, Possum Patty here, and it's time to journal. So come on along. This is going to be a very special page. I'm going to show you the page first, and then I'll go step by step how I made it. But one of my sisters retired, and we gave her just a little retirement luncheon. And to remember the occasion, it's here somewhere, coming up to it. Whoop, next page. I made this really fun retirement page. Now this is going to be a twist and pop. All you have to do is open the card and look at that. Twist and pop out pictures. Okay, I'm going to go through this step by step and show you how I made this really fun twist and pop page. Now you do not need a fancy scoreboard. You do not need any fancy tools at all. You don't need a double-sided tape glue gun. All I used was a paper plate from the luncheon, a couple of sheets of paper, an old ruler. This is even broken, so you'll need a ruler, and a handy dandy scoring tool, $1 at the Dollar Tree, and a roll of double-sided tape, $1 from the Dollar Tree. Do use a lot of tape on this. But again, I used a lot of glue, I used a lot of tape. So if you have a ruler, a scoring tool, and a roll of tape, you can make this twist and pop. And this white card is just my mock-up, and I'll go through each step. I have this just held together with some washi tape so I could see how it would function. Now the original mock-up is 5.5 by 5.5. So that makes a nice card size. But for my journal, I want to use this Happy Retirement paper plate. So I thought I'd make the base, this is the base, a little bit wider. So this is now 11 by 7. So my base is going to be 11 by 7. And I'm going to put this floral pattern paper with the black background on the inside, so when you open it up, the floral will be here and here. I'm going to make all the inside parts out of black, and then I'm going to put the 4 pictures here, and I do have, this is my leftover sheet. I only have 1 sheet of this. So this would be just the right size. It's a little short, isn't it? Let's see. Where's my pictures? Okay, I could make this a little bit smaller. Or should I use black? Well, I could make this out of black and then make little frames out of this and then put the pictures in the little frames. I think that's what I'm going to do. Okay, problem solved there. All right, so I'm going to just put this piece of black 8.5 by 11. I trimmed it a little bit to fit on the page, and I know it doesn't fit the whole page, but I do have sparkly ribbon, and I'm going to pick a color, maybe black. I'm going with black because it was kind of the theme of the decorations was black with some retirement confetti all around, so I might stick with black on this. Stick with the black theme here. And I got a big mess here. Okay. What I'll probably do is work on just this piece of paper and move this big giant journal because it is so big and getting very heavy. Starting to chunk out a little bit. So this way I can work on this and then just glue it in the journal. Okay, how do you make the twist and pop? So the first thing you do is cut a base. Now if you want it card size, you can go with the 11 by 5.5 inches, 11 by 5.5. And if you do that, you're just going to score it down the middle so you can fold it over evenly. Now, if you don't have a scoreboard that's 11 inches, you can just use your ruler and your Dollar Tree tool, $1 at the Dollar Tree. It has a fine point and a larger point. Okay, we've got to get this folded in half. So this is 11 inches. And the middle of 11 inches is 5.5. I'm just going to mark it there. And I'm not always precise, so I hope this comes out. 5.5, so that should be the center. So if you don't have a scoreboard, all you need is a $1 tool from the Dollar Tree. And you just need to line up your ruler like so and score. And that is where you're going to fold the card. Okay, once you fold the card, then you get out your very fancy bone burnishing tool. Like so. And this is your base. Easy. 11 by 7, because I'm making it a little bigger. If you don't want to go this big, you can do, if you want a square card, you go 11 by 5.5. And just fold it in half and burnish it. And that is it for the base. Easy peasy, pumpkin squeezy. All right, first piece done. And that was the base. Now the second piece that we're going to do is the flip out panel. And the flip out panel is again 11 by 3 3/4. So it's 11 by 3 3/4. Now I have all these marks to score it at, but if you don't have a ruler or you don't have a scoreboard, all you have to do is fold it in half. Get your fancy burnishing tool out, burnish it, and then you can take one end and fold it back and burnish that. Take the other side and fold it back and burnish that. You don't even have to measure that. Okay, where is my piece? My piece is... Did I cut one? Oh, you know what? Maybe I didn't cut that yet. Okay, so now I got to cut. I've got to cut. So this has got to be 11 by 3 3/4 inches. Okay. So I'm going to, this is 11. This paper is 8.5 by 11, so you don't have to cut it that way. And this side has to be 3/4. 3 3/4. My cat wants my attention. What's up, Stinky? So 3.5, 3 3/4. There. and 3 3/4 there, and get my handy dandy slicer out. Okay, so this is my flip out part. I have to give the cat a little pet. Okay, you can score it in half and then in half and in half, or you can just fold it and burnish it. Okay, once that's done, then you fold this back and touch that side there. Try to fold evenly, which is something I don't always do. Now you're going to fold this side back, right up to that fold line there. Okay, and this is the flip out part. So to recap, all we cut was a paper 11 by 5.5, folded it in the middle or scored it, or use your ruler and your score tool. Although I'm doing mine a little bit bigger, 7, because I'm putting paper plate there. And making my flip base, which is 11 by 3 3/4, fold it in half, burnish, fold one end up, burnish, fold the other end up, burnish. It's like making the accordion fold. All right, 2 pieces are done. Now, 3rd piece. Take off the washi tape. Excuse me while I do this. Now, this is where it gets just a little complicated. But I know you can do it, because if I can do it, you can do it. Okay, for this part, you need a piece of paper that is 8 inches by 3.5. 8 inches by 3.5. And I take my ruler and I marked off exactly 4 inches. 4 inches. And I am going to score this with my handy dandy Dollar Tree scoring tool. So this would bring it exactly in half. And then I'm going to just fold that and burnish it with my fancy dancy burnishing tool. So we call this the hamburger fold. And now we're going to make the hot dog fold. So we have here exactly, or almost exactly, 3.5 inches. And 1/2 of 3.5 would be 1 3/4 inches, I think. Wait, let me check on it. 1 3/4. So 1 1/2 3/4. So that should be the halfway mark. 1 3/4 inches. Okay, now I'm going to take my big broken ruler. I have such fancy equipment, I know. Can't help it. Alright, line it up on my halfway marks. Take my handy dandy Dollar Tree scoring tool. And fold this in half. Pretty good, pretty good. My fancy burnishing bone burnishing tool here. Okay, and we call this a hot dog. So we have the hamburger and we have the hot dog. Now it gets a little fancier. We're going to just mark, not score, just mark. Let's use a little ruler. Okay, I'm going to come in from the end. 2 1/4 right there. 2 1/4 is right there. And I'm going to come in from this end to line up 2 1/4 right there. And I'm going to come in from this end 2 1/4, and I'm going to come in from this end 2 1/4. So all I did was come in from each point 2 1/4, from this point 2 1/4, from this point 2 1/4, and from this point 2 1/4. Now I'm going to mark the center because the center is very important, because we're going to score. Is this long enough? Yeah. From that dot to that dot, making sure we pass through the exact center. See, this is like going to be like a big X here. And this center is the center between these two folds. So right with it, I know it's hard to see because it's black paper, but that's why I'm using the white. So I'm going to line it up, make sure I'm in the exact center, and I'm on my dots. Take my handy dandy scoring tool. And yes, we're going to score this right through the center. And then we're going to do the same thing on this side. Making sure I'm in the exact center right there. And I'm on my dots. And I go right through the center, right to my dots. Okay, now I know it's hard to see, it's impossible to see, but there is a big X. You can see it on this one because I drew it with a pencil. So there's my notches. So I had made a mark at 2 1/4, 2 1/4, 2 1/4, 2 1/4, and I drew a line right through the center point to those marks. So that's what I did here. But now I want to fold on those lines. Make sure I get on that score line. Okay, that's one score line. Burnish. And get on the other score line. And burnish. So now my X is all burnished. Okay, I'm going to turn it over this way. It's hard to see, I know, but I'm going to turn it over. And I'm going to take the two ends and fold them in. So it makes like a little house. So I'm going to take these two ends and fold them in. So it makes like a little house. And there we have it. Perfect. Perfect. We're almost done. We're almost done. Okay, now I'm going to take the right side and going to mark up 1 1/4 inches. So right at 1 1/4 inches, I'm just going to make a little mark because that is your glue line. Right there is the glue line at 1 1/4 inches. And then I'm going to turn it over and do the same thing on the right side. 1 1/4 inches. And this is just to, the glue is going to go from here to that line. Like so. Okay. Well, this is ready to be put together, except I think I am going to decorate this before I put it together. When I put it together, I'll be gluing it on here like this. Okay, once I get this glued down, then it's going to open like that. Okay, I'm going to use my double-sided Dollar Tree tape to put this together. And the first thing I want to do is put in this black floral pattern right in the middle. So that means I'm going to have to fold it in the middle this way. And this crease will go right there. So I'll just take a minute and I'll put down some tape. I took a minute to pet the cat, and now there's cat hair stuck to the sticky tape. I think I just have to leave it on there. Okay, which way are we gonna go? We're gonna go, I get those little white things everywhere. Okay, this has got to be the middle. Okay, so that's the base. This is going to get glued on here. So I want to decorate this. I get these little pieces of double-sided tape stuck everywhere. Okay, this is going to go on here. And I have 4 pictures. It was just a small retirement luncheon. There's my sister. She's holding a little sign that says, "My sister is the best sister." And this is the 4 sisters. I printed these all out with the little Canon Ivy printer. Little mini printer. Fits in the palm of your hand. Uses no ink. And you can put little stickers and borders on the pictures. Put some stars on that one. And this is part of the happy retirement decorations. And this was a little pouch we gave her. It says, "A wise woman once said, 'I'm out of here,' and she lived happily ever after." So I chose these 4 pictures, which I'm going to put on here. But first, I want to give them little frames, and I have a piece of scrap here that I'm going to use to give them some little frames. So the Ivy printer prints on this zinc, which means 0 ink paper, and if you peel it, it is a sticker. And this is like the perfect thing for journaling. You could take it with you wherever you go. You can take a picture with your phone, use your phone to print it out, and stick it right in your journal. So I'm going to slice and dice this. It's about that wide. Let's see. So I'm just going to go ahead and make 4 of these and do the same thing. Okay, when you go to glue your images down on your fold out thing, make sure the center fold is popped up, because this is going to be the front. Okay, what order do I want to put these in? Let's see. Okay, let's see if we do something like that. And this one would go here. I put 3 strips of Dollar Tree double-sided tape. And I'm just going to center that on there. And use a rag just to push it down because my hands are always dirty. Okay, I'm going to put some tape on the back of the rest of these. And then I'll put them on. And then I'll show you how to put it together. Didn't that come out gorgeous? Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. And this is going to unfold like that. Okay, the next step is to attach this to the mechanism. And then we will attach the mechanism to the folder. Okay, now I'm going to take the photo, fold out, pop out, close it up, and this is my mechanism. And we made these lines here. That's where we're going to put the adhesive. So I'm going to take my Dollar Tree double-sided tape and only up to this line. You want to be careful with that because if you put the cards all the way up here, it's not going to open and close correctly. So you want to make sure you stay below that line. Oh, I keep my fingers off the tape. And 3 stripes will do it. And then turn it over to where you have the other line. And do not go above the line. I'm going to put 3. 1. Oops, that one's crooked. 2. I am really good at crooked. 3. Okay, you're going to do one side at a time. I don't want these to peek out the edge. Okay, so with the folder, see the point goes up, pictures are inside. I'm going to place that right there. So I'm going to pull these off. You have to press them down, make sure they stick before I pull it off. Okay, I find it easier to do it from the side. I'm sure there's a better way. 1, 2, oops, I got some tape stuck on my finger. There we go. 3. Okay, now remember you only want to go up to the closest tape there. And you want to, see this is a little bit bigger than the mechanism, just a hair. And you want to get that in there with just a little bit peeking up the top and the bottom. Press that down. Turn it over. Now you got to go in here. See, I forget to press it down, then they pull up. Okay, get those pressed down. Now, I'm overlapping again. I don't want to overlap. Okay, pull the tape off. I know it must be hard watching me. I'm such a fumble fingers. One, 2. This is really easier than I make it look. Okay, 3. Okay, Okay, now you got to get that card back there. Okay. Gonna press the card right there. And that's the opening up mechanism. Oops, upside down. That's the opening up mechanism. So now you have to put that inside the card. And this point is going to go right up to that line. Right there. I made the cover a little too short. Put it this way. That's upside down though. Okay, so you're going to glue these two triangle parts. And one's going to stick to the bottom and one's going to stick to the top. So give me a moment to put some tape on those. Okay, now I'm just checking to make sure everything is going in the direction that I want it to go in. Because these flowers seem to have one direction, right? So that's what it's going to look like. Close it up. So this is the bottom. So this is the bottom, this is the bottom, this is the bottom. Stick that in my brain that this is the bottom. Pull these off. You see, they come off easy if you press them down first, but I keep forgetting to do that. Okay, kitty in my lap. Okay, now this is going to go somewhere in the middle. You can't put the point past the middle line there though. I'm just going to eyeball it. Eyeball it, eyeball it. Right there. Press that down. Okay, make sure these are pressed down because that makes it oh so much easier. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now we're going to close it up and press it down, press it down. Okay, now, voila, look at that. Gorgeous. I love it. Oop. Open, twist, and pop. Isn't that stunning? Isn't that stunning? Okay. Now we're going to decorate the cover. Okay, I put a bunch of double-sided tape on the back of this Happy Retirement paper plate. And I'm just going to stick this on the front. And I know I use a lot of glue, I use a lot of tape, but you know what? When Possum Patty sticks something down, Possum Patty wants it to stay down. Okay, I'm going to attach the card to the background. And I think I'm going to use a part of the paper plate to make a little latch there to hold it closed, like that. So I'm going to go ahead and use some more of this tape to get everything all stuck down. Okay, I've got my tape on the back, and I'm going to put the background on the page. And I'm only going to take off one strip to start with because I'm going to try and line this up. Hopefully I can line this up evenly. Like I said, I'm really good at crooked. Trying to make the top and the bottom even. How does that look? Okay, that looks good. All right, I'm going to rub that down. So hopefully that'll hold it while I pull off the rest of the tape. 1, 2, 3, 4, page 6. Okay, and press that down. Whoops. I'll get the ribbon in there. Press that down. Nice, beautiful, smooth. Hope it stays in there. Okay, now for my centerpiece. Okay, I have lots of double-sided tape on the back of the card, and I am just going to eyeball it. I'm going to put a little bit more towards the top than the bottom, so it will go right there. And then I have my little piece of paper plate that's going to be the little holder there. Oh, well, you know what? It really helps if you take the backing off, because if you take the backing off, it will stick. Okay. That's just gonna go right there. That's my flap to hold it down. I think I put it a little too high, but that's okay, it'll work. Okay, I'm going to do some more decorating. I'm going to put this black sparkly ribbon there and there. And I'm getting an idea from these round colorful circles that maybe I can put a few sparkly dots everywhere. This pack of sparkly ribbon is from Michael's. One day I was in there, they had a big ribbon sale. I did not pay $16.99 for that. I don't remember what it was, but it was a lot cheaper than that. I just put some of the double-sided tape on the back of the ribbon. I'll put it at the top first. Okay, now I'm going to put one at the bottom. Well, I was hoping to get this done before Mr. Possum started mowing, but I didn't. So if you hear noise in the background, sorry about that. So, yeah, I spent too long gluing down all these little fun dots, confetti, all over the page. Oh, here he comes. I thought he'd gone in the back. And if you get things crooked, ribbon does wonders to make everything look even, because I had put this on a little bit crooked, but I evened it out with the ribbon. And I even added some of this confetti to the part of the paper plate that I taped onto there and to the little latch down at the bottom to marry it all together. And I used a hole punch, just a regular hole punch, and some of this glitter pack paper. This is, I think, from Michael's. Just a pad of glitter paper. And the holograph ones, I took some large sequins and I hole punched them out smaller to get these little holographic ones. And I also used some of this Dollar Tree confetti, and those are the little shiny ones. So I have a mix of holograph, shiny confetti, and sparkly ones. So I like this page, very festive. And then we have the surprise. Wait for it. Oop, got it all out of the latch. There we go. Pop up. How fun is this? And those little papers, the zinc paper from the Ivy Cannon printer, fit perfect in those dimensions that I gave you. And there she is. So I just want to thank you. I did tape this up too far, but I'll deal with that. The little latch at the bottom, I taped it up kind of far. All right, this book is too big. And once I get things glued in the book, it's hard to handle. Okay, knocking everything off my desk. Happy junk journaling. Happy retirement, sister. Thanks for coming along today. Bye-bye now.